So my wife video called me earlier on today and she said, "Do you know what day it is?" I said, "Yeah, Friday." She went, "What else is it?" I said, "Oh, it's our anniversary." "Yeah, we're going out for a meal." I said, "Can't, we're racing the pigeons." So, luckily for me, I got myself a hernia. So I'm not meant to lift anything. That includes pigeons. But everybody's gone out. So I've got to do it myself. Haven't I?
Tomorrow there's actual prize money on offer, over £1,000.
Now the weather forecast for tomorrow is going to be very hot, so I've decided not to send. However, we do have a gold ring race that we paid for ages ago, and so we are going to send those birds, but for the rest of them, because I don't have a very big team, I'm going to save for next year, because although a lot of people are sending, I'm just not going to bother. So right.
We'd entered 10 birds into the Ilkeston Gold Ring race at the start of the year. Unfortunately, 4 had gone AWOL and one of the good Belgian birds had come back from a previous race with flight feathers missing, which is a typical sign of a hawk attack, something that seemed to be happening every race now, so we could only send 5 in total.
I know you're not, because you're a NRCC Futurity bird.
I'd put all the birds in the basket so I could sort through them and give them all a once over. I'm mostly checking they're not too light, which is a sign that something's wrong, or I'm checking to see whether they're too fat, which is a signal to stop feeding them Big Macs.
And annoyingly, most of the birds I've lost have been Futurity birds.
Futurity is where at the start of the year you pay an entry fee into a young bird race where there's usually a decent prize pot on offer.
Exercise for tomorrow. That's a shame, 'cause you feel quite good. Better than me. Do pigeons get hernias? 738. Here we go, Cox 738. That's good news, because you're a good performer. Missed the first 3 races, so it wasn't very well.
Despite the heat, I was feeling like we were in with a chance, going on the previous week's performance at least. Well, birds were let go at 10 to 11 in a west-northwest, and it's just absolutely rubbish weather. 128 miles. They're flying from Hexham today. We've sent 28 birds. Oh, look at this. So really, we're expecting them to be back in 15 minutes, but that's what they've got to fly through. That's the direction they're coming from. So yeah, not brilliant conditions at all. So main camera's not coming out today because it's wet and it's raining, and my proper camera isn't waterproof. I had no idea what to expect given the weather. Racing pigeons in the rain isn't the norm, but although it's wind and rain here, 128 miles away in Costa del Hexham, the sun could well be shining. I prematurely let the dropper go, but she did a good job of flying up to get the birds back down. One of them wasn't our bird, and they're usually nervous about landing on an unfamiliar loft, which can keep my birds circling longer, losing us time. Despite the worsening weather leading us to retreating under cover, they still kept coming. Turned out to be a pretty good race. We managed to get 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th in fed from just over 1,000 birds. Charlie's birds taking the first 3 home, A67320 being the first back and 5th in the fed, with the Belgian bird S06141 taking 8th in the federation. Back to the present, and I was continuing to measure up our chances while simultaneously laying the groundwork for excuses. I think I'm probably the only person this side that's got any birds from what I can tell. I think they're all on that side, so although it's a light southwesterly up at Berwick forecast tomorrow, every race pretty much this season, they've Worksop, Pinkston, all of those birds on that side seem to be doing well. They're flying really, really well compared to me at least, so don't rate my chances. I just hope I get them back. It'd be great to get them back in a decent time. I think there's like over £1,000 in prize money for that race tomorrow. So we've actually got 5 birds. So I'll show you those who we've got to go. I'm very, very nervous about one of them. So I'm a little bit nervous about this race tomorrow. One, because of the heat. I raced in higher temperatures last year. And we got most of them back. But we're sending Dark Ghoul, which is technically Archie's bird. It's bred from Ryan, not Brian. But it's so friendly. It's the most tame bird I've got, and she hasn't done anything particularly well yet. She's paired up with one of the cocks, but she's just a nice bird, and I'm just hoping that she comes back. I don't really care where she finishes. I just want her to come back. And then we've got 4 cocks in there. So there's 2 from Belgium, and there's 1 I think from Charlie, and 1 that we bred, I think. From last year's young birds, so the yearlings, and I'm hoping that they do all right. So we've got 5 out of the 10. I thought we had fewer than that, so that's pretty good. I'd have liked to have the full house, but anyway, I'm going to get off. I've got to drive an hour now to Baskerton.
It's our first ever gold ring race, and with over £1,000 up for grabs, honestly, I couldn't contain my excitement.
Can't stay in here all day, but got half an hour or so before Charlie arrives. Who says pigeon racing isn't a sport? Really? I mean, look at me. I'm exhausted. Let's see, this is effort. Try doing that.
Right, well, back to the map. Let's have a look how it's going to be today. So this is where we're racing from, Berwick upon Tweed. It's 180 miles or close to that, down towards Ollerton. Majority of the flies, I think, are around this area. Just to the west of us, and it is a slight southwest wind, so we could be in with a shout there, but with while we've got the wind on our advantage, there's more birds on that side, so we'll see how we get on. The next week is in 2 weeks' time, in a fortnight, we're racing from Dunbar, a little bit further on. I haven't sent those birds today, and in fact the only birds I've sent today are the birds for this particular race. So having a week off because the weather is going to be Scorchio today. What is it? 11:30. I've already said it's 28 degrees. It's probably even higher than that now. So expecting the birds to be, Charlie reckons about 3.5 hours. I think they might come slightly quicker than that, but we'll see. Charlie's usually right. So we're just coming up to the 3-hour mark in a couple of minutes, and it's still pretty warm. What's he saying now? Of course, it's still warm. It's 27 degrees now, and I don't think we'll get anything straight away. I think we're going to be probably looking at, well, Charlie reckons 3.5 hours, so I'll get my eyes peeled in about 15 minutes, 10-15 minutes, you never know. But looking at the clouds, what few clouds there are, there's hardly any movement. There's no movement in the trees. The leaves aren't blowing at all. So don't think there's any wind advantage, which is a bummer, because we're all out here on our own, but it sometimes plays to your advantage, doesn't it? But it's going to be a tough day for them because it is baking. It says 27, but it feels way warmer. It's very, very humid. We're meant to get some thunderstorms tomorrow, so that sort of tells you what it's like.
Hello. Get yourself in the shade, mate, don't you?
The time we expected them came and went, then another hour of sweltering heat passed. Deflated, I resigned myself to just hoping we'd get some back, especially Archie's dark checker hen, which he'd named Dark Ghoul.
Wow, that's shit. was 20. Rubbish.
By the time the first bird arrived, I barely thought it worth verifying, but it turns out it's a good job I did.
Archie, I've got the result here. The gold ring race. You can read through it.
I got third.
Look for section prizes, and then you scroll down till you see your name.
I won 150 quid.